Okay, so I got that laugh. Means I'm thinking of something funny. uh, I'm gonna do a couple things first. I gotta connect these. I gotta connect these points so my purfling will look good. And so I did an earlier video about drawing as a kid, so I do know how to draw. uh, I'm gonna tell you a story about, and I hope he don't get mad at me, but if he does, he'll just get over it. My Son-In-Law the Cajun. That's what this video is gonna be called. My Son-In-Law the Cajun. So it'll probably be better for you to look at my work processes than versus my ugly mug. So my Son-In-Law the Cajun. My daughter teases him all the time that he's a Cajun, and she says that he says that no, I'm not a Cajun. I'm from Michigan. But that's true in a sense, and I'll tell you why and why not. All right, so this is the story, and I'm gonna argue that point with him about him not being a Cajun, but technically he is, and you're fixing to find out why. So Hurricane Ida, right? Hurricane Ida was happening, and obviously as a parent, I'm getting worried about my child and her family, and my son-in-law and my grandson. And the power went out for Hurricane Ida, obviously in Thibodaux. That's where they live, in Thibodaux. And couldn't get a hold. Like the day of the hurricane, while it was passing, I could text them, I could call them, and I was helping them how to prepare. Of course, they know all this, but as a worried father, you're gonna say, hey, did you remember this? Did you remember that? Do this, that. And of course, my daughter in her head, she's saying, yes, Dad, yes, Dad, yes, Dad. This is not our first rodeo. Yes, Dad, I know how to do all that, blah, 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 blah. So, but anyway, you're gonna do it anyway, right? Because you're a parent. That's what you do. You worry. So get over it, kid. And I'm gonna keep worrying, and I'm gonna keep. Anyway, you get the idea. So anyway. So we lost all communication with them because of the power grid, power lines going down, the cell towers going down. Oh, and I'm gonna need some cheaters, that's what they call them up here. But I mean, they're just so all communication going down, and I didn't hear from them, and I knew why. I mean, Hurricane Ida, that was a strong storm. So the next morning when I woke up, checking the news, checking to see if my daughter had texted me. I mean, I even texted my son-in-law, hey, figured, if one phone didn't work, maybe the other phone worked, whatever. So anyway, couldn't get a hold of nobody. So I'm thinking, let me go on the internet. Maybe she posted something on Facebook, or is posted somewhere. So just let me know that you're okay. That's all I really care about. Just let me know you're okay. And lo and behold, yes, they were trying to, but they couldn't, because there was just no power, no cell service, no nothing. Couldn't text, no internet, no nothing. And yeah, that's just the way it was. So I started thinking, I was checking Facebook Messenger and all kind of stuff. And I know they were already thinking about this. And I know they were already thinking that, that they needed to let us know that they were okay. And then it dawned on me, her mom, his mom, nice lady. I've only met them a couple times. Of course, they live in Michigan. My son-in-law's parents. And if I remember him telling me correctly, they are from Michigan. But lo and behold, this is the thing. So I got a hold of his mom through Messenger because we're friends on Facebook. So I got a hold of her, and I calmly asked her if she had heard anything from them, and she calmly responded, and I said, hey, can I call you? texting through Messenger, I can get a lot more accomplished by talking to you on the phone. And she said, please, by all means. And she gave me her number. And I exchanged my number. So I called her. I mean, right away I called her and said, hey, what's up? Have you heard from him? I'm Andy's dad, obviously. Have you heard of him? I know you're worried. I'm worried, yada, yada, blah, blah, blah. So, okay, so, her and I got to talking, I wanted to let her know, I've met her. I met her at the wedding when my daughter got married, and I know who they are, but I don't really know them. And I like to find out about people. I like to know what, just, hey, who are you? And, just to get to know them. Nothing invasive, nothing, And so we started talking, and lo and behold, this is what she told me. She said that, and I didn't know this. My son-in-law did not share this with me, and that's okay if he didn't. No problem. Maybe he didn't think to. But his parents, and they're school teachers, and so she told me that when I think she said when they first started out teaching, and correct me if I'm wrong. I'm probably getting the story wrong, but anyway, they started out in Morgan City. They were teachers in Morgan City, Louisiana. And as a matter of fact, just by coinkydink, that's where my wife grew up. It was in the Berwick, Morgan City area. Okay. So I thought, oh, well, that's a neat coincidence. Wow, I did not realize that. And so this is the next thing she told me. She said, yes, my son was actually born in Morgan City. So there you go. My son-in-law the Cajun. Can't deny it. You're an honorary Cajun, my boy. Get over it. He's probably going to be mad at me. He said, I'm from Michigan. No, you're not from Michigan. Your parents are from Michigan. You're from Morgan City. You've been living in Thibodaux long enough. You're an honorary Cajun. So there you go. That's my story. Now I'm going to have to start teasing him about that. I don't know if he's the kind of fella that he likes teasing. I kind of tease with him every now and then. He don't, maybe out of respect, he's just not telling me anything. But we get along. I honestly love my son-in-law. He is so good. He is, I can't say enough about him. He is the perfect dad. He's the perfect husband. He cares about his family. You could tell he was raised right, raised good, come from a good family, and I am so appreciative of that fact. You worry about your kid. You worry about who they're going to end up, and vice versa. I'm sure his mom is worried the same thing, and she has every right to be. And now there's grandkids involved, and the whole 9 yards. But I can honestly and truthfully say that I love my son-in-law. Yeah, my son-in-law was holding out on me. He neglected to tell me that part about where he was born. Had I known, I respected him already. I knew from day one when I met him, I knew he was going to be a good guy. And so I already respected him, but, man, tell me that you're an honorary Cajun or you're Cajun by proxy. I'm going to respect you even that much more. So, but no, he's a really good guy. I'm going to tell you what kind of guy he is. My daughter, when they got married, my daughter was already, she was a woman, she was, probably, I'm going to give away her age and she's going to fuss me for that, but that's okay. She was like 35, so she was a woman, and they were grown. But this is the kind of person he is. he is a traditionalist in the romantic sense of the form. And what I mean by that is he thought enough about me and my feelings, although she was no longer, she was already out and grown and on her own, and she had her own life. But he thought enough about my feelings that although I wasn't home or I didn't answer my phone, but I still appreciated it. He thought enough about my feelings that he called me specifically to ask me, well, I guess he called to ask me, but at least to inform me that they were getting married. You know, they could have ran off and got married and did their own thing. They didn't owe me any kind of explanation, but he thought enough about me to at least let me know, and maybe, you know, ask my permission. I don't know. I mean, he had my permission anyway. He didn't need my permission, but you know, that's the kind of person he is. He thought enough about me to call me and at least inform me, and I that went a long. He doesn't realize this. That went a very long way with me, very long way. So that's the kind of person he is, and he takes other people into consideration. You know, he's not a selfish person by no means. Anyway, so I'm a quit talking about that before I get emotional. I've got to break out the little bending jig so I can bend these really tight, these furflings. Got to bend them real tight so they can fit in these corners. And I will show you. You can see how I cut these little. Go right here. I cut these little grooves. It's called a bee sting point, and so it's going to be a nice sharp point. So let me get that set up. I'll get back right with you. Alrighty. So here it is. I got the purfling all in, and it's a little bit dark in spots because it's wet. I'm cleaning off the excess glue that I put in there. But yeah, so when I'm gonna let that probably cure for a couple hours. Maybe it might even be till tomorrow. I might mess with it, but it's got a little raised edge. You know, you can't really get it in there flush, so you have to come back and cut a flute is what it's called, and so this high spot will be cut away. Anyway, I made a couple little mistakes, but nothing that I can't fix, nothing that I can't hide. The mark of a good luthier is to be able to hide his mistakes, and I've got a few tricks up my sleeve. It's gonna be almost invisible when I get done with it. I built a guitar a couple years ago. Actually, a good buddy of mine bought it, and there's a spot on the backside that has like a little patch on it, but it looked like it was a little custom insert. What he don't know is that it was a mistake I had made, but I found a way to hide it, and it made it look like it was a custom insert. And you know, he's like, "Oh, you did that for me?" I'm like, "Yeah, buddy, of course, you're my good friend." You don't know I made a mistake. Don't tell nobody. But yeah, the mark of a good luthier is knowing how to cover up your mistakes. You know, worst case scenario, you start completely over. But like at this point, you know, I've already devoted so many hours into carving this thing. Ain't no way I'm starting over. I'm gonna hide my mistake, and I'm gonna fix it. So I'm gonna let this cure, and then I'm probably gonna start carving on the back a little bit. I'm not gonna show you that whole process. So it's gonna be pretty much a repeat of this, and not unless I come up with a good story. But before I leave for today, and who knows, however this video is gonna come out, it might have 2 or 3 Cajun words of the day. I'm not doing this with any rhyme or reason. It's just how I feel at the moment. Nombre. You know what a nombre is? If you know what nombre is, okay, you just might be Cajun. If you don't know what nombre is, and go ask somebody. Like, I'm going to always say that. Find out. Expand your horizons. Expand your vocabulary. So, I'm probably gonna go. I think there's a LSU football game playing today, and I think I've got it recorded. But I'm gonna probably go watch the game in a little bit. I'm gonna piddle around here for a little bit, and then I'm gonna go relax for the rest of this Saturday anyway, and maybe tomorrow I might pick it up again. Oh, it just depends on what I feel like. All right, have a good afternoon. Nombre.